Hello everyone and welcome back to Cloud Sport Road to Vegas in Berlin. Powered by Playseat and sponsored by Formula E, of course. Well, other way around, of course. Sponsored by Playseat and powered by Formula E. So anyway, we're back in Berlin for the second semi-final. Graham Carroll won the first one earlier today, and I'm with my co-commentator and good friend Jack Pickering. So Jack, you excited to commentate on your first Road to Vegas semi-final?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon, Ed. It's a pleasure to be here, and I can't wait to see some track action this afternoon.
Me neither, man. It's going to be excellent. We've got some really good drivers in this second group. Some of which we know personally. I think they're just setting up qualifying just now. But let's very quickly go through the championship standings. For those who don't know yet, for those who don't know, we'll just look at the top 20. So remember, it's the top 10 that go through to Las Vegas for the grand final. They get to race against the real-life Formula E drivers, and there's a $1 million prize pot for everyone to compete for. I think the winner gets $200,000. So yeah, so it's a really exciting opportunity, and these guys have really jumped for it, and they already want that money, and they already want the chance to impress everyone on a big stage. I mean, who doesn't want that? Well, I guess people are stage fright, but yeah, they wouldn't be driving anyway. But anyway, so
Indeed.
the guy leading at the moment is Gregor Hutu. Won in Paris, finished 5th in Long Beach, and he's leading on 95 points. Remember, of course, that we have the drop scores rule, which of the 4 finals that we do so we had Long Beach and Paris already. Berlin is this weekend, so today and tomorrow's the final. And we have London on December 3rd and December 4th. So whichever one of those you get the worst result in, you can drop. So you just need to make sure you don't miss more than one. If you do miss one, it won't hurt against you. Greg Hutu leading at the moment on 95 points with his win last time out. Oliver Kala second in Paris, of course, to Greg Hutu. Very close second. He's on 90 points. Graham Carroll in third. He was the winner in Long Beach. He's on 86 points. Didn't do so well in Paris, but he had a great semi-final earlier this morning, and he's really looking to get revenge. Patrick Holtzman is in fourth. Okay. I think we'll look at. So that's the top 3 or so. So let's go back to the actual action right now, which is the qualifying. So we're watching Enzo Benito right now. He's the Italian teenager. Finished 3rd last time out in Paris, and really talented guy. Love the guy to talk to. Really passionate about his racing, and also very technically astute. Really good at finding the right setup. And here we go. He starts the lap now. Remember, at Berlin, the timing line is just after the hairpin, which is effectively the last corner. And then we have the chicane, of course, which is brutal. You remember, Jack, the real life race where the bollard took out so many drivers.
Yeah.
As soon as they put the wall
indeed.
back in. Interesting. If anyone's watching the semi-final early today, they had the wall in for qualifying, and they took it out for the race. I guess that's because it's a sort of risk versus reward thing, and sort of maybe in qualifying it's more risky, but there's less consequences if you hit it because you can just reset back in the pit lane. Anyway, Enzo doing this lap now. This is he's already done a lap, and I think he's on one that's slightly slower than the one he was on before. Let's just keep an eye on the timing screens as we go here. But it's showing 6 or 7 people have set laps so far. Enzo's fastest at the moment on a 53.4. So that's pretty good base lap, actually. Really good base lap. Patrick Holtzman, local hero, of course, is on a 53.6. Daniel Kiss is in 3rd on a 53.8. Douglas Hawkins, the American newcomer. I've not seen him doing too much right. He may have competed before. I'm sorry if I've missed that, but this is the first time I remember seeing him. And he's done very well in the hot laps, and he's done very well here so far. He's on 54.1. And then Lucas Smallman is 5th on a 55.0. I'm pretty sure Lucas can go a bit faster than that. We'll see. So yeah. Anyway, really good track. What do you think of this Berlin track, Jack? As we watch Diego Jimenez starting a lap.
Well, if I'm completely honest, I did prefer the old Tempelhof layout.
Oh,
However, for because of the migrant crisis and everything, we couldn't go through. However, I think this was a decent replacement. It didn't produce the greatest action in the real life race because
Oh really? I kind of beg to differ
it's
there.
but because it's so narrow. However, we did see in the real life race people like Jean-Eric Verne, who started on pole for that race. He went through the chicane and went straight into the barrier.
Yeah, lost his front wing. He wasn't the only one who had the problem with that bollard, wasn't it? Bob the bollard that was knocking off front wings left, right, and centre and sort of causing a lot of black and orange flags.
Yeah, indeed. I remember Sam Bird complaining on the radio, saying that his front wing was fine.
Yeah, it's not falling off, guys.
Yeah.
He was very frustrated about that. So I think they're talking about. Thankfully, there's no bollard in this game, so it's not really as big an issue for the drivers. It's more the massive brick wall that's there instead in qualifying, at least. I suspect they will carry through on what they did in the previous semi-final and remove it for the race, because otherwise, I think there was a backmarker in the last semi-final who went straight through there and sort of got stuck. I imagine that'd be even worse with the wall. I wasn't sure exactly what happened to him, but it may have been that he just kind of ran out of something because his car just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And his race is over. But anyway, so 15 minutes left to go in qualifying. Enzo still leads from two tenths over Patrick Holtzman with 63.4. Danica still third. Dougie Hawkins, is it okay to call him that? Or Douglas is in fourth.
It sounds correct, to be honest, mate. So yeah, I think if he doesn't mind.
Oh,
then
I'm sorry, Dougie. I didn't mean to do this to you. Anyway, as I say that, Walter Wedgeworth has just jumped up to 5th place, displacing Lucas Mollman. So the Mollman will have to. Yeah, he has improved to 54.9, but Wedgeworth has got 54.6. We need more alliterative names like Walter Wedgeworth, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Walter Wedgeworth just snuck into the final in Paris, although he didn't. I don't remember him getting very far. I think he crashed out. But he did very well in his semi-final to avoid chaos, and I think he'll be looking to do that again. It seems that he's actually got a lot better pace here. I remember he went several laps without his front wing in Paris, and that sort of worked against him. Anyway, so in the last semi-final we were seeing a lot of accidents in qualifying. I've not seen too many so far, so it looks like people are maybe at least at the start of the session here just sort of keeping it clean and sort of getting into a rhythm a bit. Patrick Holtzman has closed a bit. He is under 2 tenths now behind Enzo Benito, and it'd be a big upset if Holtzman could displace Enzo Benito.
And
even though Holtzman is leading Benito in the overall standings at the moment.
Yeah, and also going back to the incidents in the earlier session. One thing that I did pick up in the qualifying sessions at least is that everyone tried to go as fast as they can through the chicane and do effectively what Jean-Eric did in the real life race and just hit the ball and on cue Daniel Kiss does hit the wall.
Well, he kisses it. Yeah, he's very good at that. You mentioned something, Daniel Kiss, and then he makes contact with something, and it just invites the fun. It opens up right in front of you. It's beautiful for a commentator. Yeah. So this is a group of guys with really cool names. Oh, is that Patrick Holtzman spinning out just as I was picking him up?
Turn 9, I think that is.
That looks like just before the starting grid. So that would be turn 9.
So he retreats to the pits and comes immediately back out, which is pretty much what they do because they can just hit the pause button, return to the garage, and then go back out on track. Anyone who plays any of the Formula One franchises does that all the time.
Absolutely, except for the AI. Even so, actually, but the AI in those games aren't quite so eager to get back on and the player to wreck them again. But although the AI seem to crash into each other more often than not in the F1 games these days.
Yeah.
Anyway, looking at standings, it does change a bit. My good friend from Formula X, Mark Behrens, he's jumped up to 7th. He was in 6th, but he's just been displaced by.
He has just set a personal best for sector. Just like to point that out.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So this should be a good lap from Mark Behrens if he carries it on.
Personal best middle sector. Sorry, just to point that out.
So Walter Woodrow has been displaced by Ricky Wilson, is what I was just going on to. So Ricky Wilson in 5th. Remember, it's the top 5 that go through into the final. So that is the all-important sort of 5th place, which is the last guy that goes through. And Ricky Wilson, not really has a bit of a reputation not for being the cleanest. Well, I think that's a bit unfair because he's as you see, Mark Barrington.
Wow,
getting his turning done a bit too late.
He's lost a wheel as well.
That is
Jesus
what
Christ.
happens when a car comes into contact with a concrete wall at high speed. What's that they always say about immovable force and an unbreakable object when they meet? Yeah, but that's not good for Mark's confidence, I don't think, because he's now been displaced by Lucas Mollman. So let's look at the times. Enzo Benino's improved to a 53.3. Patrick Holtzman 2/10 behind, 53.5 after that spin, which was not really needed. It cost him a bit of time there. Daniel Kiss in 3rd, 53.8. Douglas Hawkins 54.0. And then Walter Wedgeworth in 5th. Wedgeworth has just jumped up to 5th, displacing Ricky Wilson again with a 54.5. So yeah, but that's it's both Wedgeworth and Wilson on 54.5 laps, but I think 2/1000ths of a second, 200ths of a second faster is that's the gap that Wedgeworth has over Wilson. And yeah, a couple of lower down we have Mark Behrens, of course, Lucas Mollman, and ahead of Behrens. We have Jesus Cecilia, who I expected to be a bit. Maybe he's not quite got a lap in yet, with just under 10 minutes to go.
He's just done a personal best in the middle sector on his current lap.
Okay,
however,
let's see
he wasn't up in the first sector.
Let's see how Jesus Cecilia and the baby blue car develops here. Lorenzo Lucidi, also a good driver, not doing too strongly. He's in 10th. Diego Jimenez is 11th, and Jonathan Main, the debutant, another Formula Addicts guy, along with Lorenzo. He is last at the moment on a 58-second lap, so he's just getting to grips with things, I think.
Jesus Cilia has just gone up to P4, Ed.
Oh yes, really good. I did think he had it in him. So yes, what lap is he? What time has he just set? A 53.9.
He's just set a 53.9. Yeah.
Yep. And Jesus, really, we can call him Jesus if we really want, but Jesus is a more. I think it's a safer because he is from Spain. So I imagine I don't want to feel too blasphemous in this commentary session.
Yeah.
So Jesus up to 4th now, and pushing Walter Wedgeworth out, and actually putting Douglas Hawkins on the bar. Of course, remember, this is only qualifying. We've still got the race to go. So Kiss and Hawkins in the pit lane now, although they both just come out again. And I wonder, I think it's a bit late for guys to be changing setup at this point. Of Enzo Benito taking a very wide line, trying to run up.
Yes, I noticed that in the first qualifying session earlier on, that a lot of people take a wide line. However, half of them couldn't really make the apex to try and get back to get the best run down to the chicane.
Yeah, we were watching. I remember in the first second, Louis Dalmau in the race that he was constantly. Oh, there we see it from Benito. Beautiful little drift there, very well controlled.
That is a purple sector 1 that he's just set.
Yeah, absolutely. Benito on fire now. This teenage sensation from Italy is really lighting up the timing screens right now. He just tags the wall a bit. I think he's gotten away with that one. He is just under a 10. Yes, 0.060 up on his last time. So let's see if he has a good last corner. Can't afford to go too wide this time.
However, that second sector was a tad slower than he did on his personal best lap. It'll all come down to sector 3. However, that is just one corner, and he is.
I think it. Oh, that's not much faster, but it is faster.
Just improved his time, yes.
Yes, by a 1,000th of a second, I think there, and that was a. I mean, it was worth
1,000 counts in motorsport, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
1,000 counts, yeah. And that, if anything, just demoralises Patrick Holtzman a little bit on his home turf for 2. Patrick Holtzman still 2/10 behind, but second place is still. It's not a bad position for Holtzman at all, and he'll be looking to. I think he might. I think they're starting to think that 53.5 is a really good time. That's probably not going to get beaten that easily. How much time do we have left in the session? 7 minutes now. So. Yeah. So the order: Benito, Holtzman, Kiss, Cecilia, Hawkins, Wedgeworth, Wilson, Mollman, Behrens, Lucidi, Jimenez, and Main. So, yeah, anyone on a good lap at the moment? Benito always seems to be on a good lap, so I guess we can just watch him.
Lorenzo Lucidi set a personal best sector 1, however, this sector 2 was a bit off the pace.
Oh, as you see Enzo getting it all wrong into the chicane and bits of front wing going everywhere.
And so he heads back to the pits, as you do.
I think he's taken his bits of broken car with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is crazy seeing those huge crashes at the first corner. Yeah, I guess this is one of those things where people you're pushing to get the best lap time, and you think, never mind the consequences, let's just push and see what happens. And I wonder if Holtzman is going to start to take that approach now too. Yeah. So we were talking about this track earlier before the action happened. You see Holtzman really making the rear tyre get nice and friendly with that wall on the exit of the chicane. Yeah, and he's a 10th down though, Holtzman, so I'm not sure this is a particularly promising looking lap so far, but can he hook up the second sector here? I think the order's still fairly static. I haven't seen too many big changes in the last couple of laps, so.
I'd just like to point out Ricky Wilson has just set his personal best first sector.
Oh, okay.
The timing, so we'll have to look out for
that
that
seems
when
to happen a lot,
sector
and then they don't really carry through.
Yeah,
it's a bit hard to do. So Holtzman has improved a little bit, has he? No, he's gone slow. He's gone slow. This is 8 tenths slower. Sorry, I misread that. And Diego Jimenez coming back into the pits. That's weird. Usually they take the crash and then respawn in the pits option. I guess no consequence.
Ricky Wilson's just gone 6th. He's just gone ahead of.
Oh, that's
Wedgeworth.
pretty good. It's a good lap from Ricky Wilson there. 54.4. Just over a second slower than the pole man at the moment. But that's every little helps. It gets him closer to that top 5.
We would just like to point out at this point that this is not the lead singer of the Kaiser Chiefs. This is a different Ricky Wilson.
Yeah, I mean Ricky he did make the final in Long Beach, but he crashed out in that final. And he's had a bit of a tough time. I think it's fair to say so. It's good to see that Ricky's pace hasn't been dampened since then. And I think someone's phone went off there, but never mind. Let's carry on. What is going on at the moment? It looks like Ricky Wilson is just warming up his tyres a bit, getting ready for another attempt. Still in the 6th place, of course. He's got Hawkins, Cecilia Kiss, Holtzman, Benito ahead of him. It'd be really helpful for Ricky Wilson's chances if he could just sneak into the top 5 there. 4 minutes left of the session. Can anyone else challenge for the top 5, I wonder? Wedgeworth was sort of in the mix earlier on. He is a 10th behind Ricky Wilson. I think the gap between Ricky Wilson and Douglas Hawkins in 5th is about 4 tenths of a second, so I'm not sure that that's a bridgeable gap at this stage, unless someone pulls out something really special. I feel myself feeding back through your speakers a little bit, Jack. I hope that's not an issue.
No, I don't. I wasn't hearing any. I just heard you perfectly fine. I wasn't sure what was happening on my end, so yeah.
Fair enough.
But that was my phone in the background a couple minutes ago. So
Okay.
yeah, I would like to apologise for that. And
Fair enough.
yeah,
it happens, Jack.
my mic's
Anyway.
very good at picking up stuff. So yeah.
Well, we increased the sensitivity because you're a bit hard to hear anyway. But anyway, let's carry on. Let's just carry on no matter what.
Swiftly moving on.
Oh, Ricky Wilson lifting
Wilson,
the front
he's
up in the air there.
yeah.
You see that? Yeah, real
Proper
dramatic
Jev
stuff.
style.
Yeah, everyone wants to be like John Eric Verne. And in fact, speaking of John Eric Verne, we saw in the okay, let's just stop. I think he damaged the suspension maybe. Enzo Benito faster again. Is he equal with his time there, or is he 8 thousandths of a second up?
He is 8 thousandths of a second up, I can see on my screen.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was
However,
an 8 or a 0.
we're just about to find out as he comes across the line through the hairpin, and he goes
He
slightly
seems very happy
quicker.
with that.
He goes slightly quicker.
Yeah, I
It's
think
now
Benito...
53.315, which is
Benito seems to be in a...
half a tenth quicker than he was.
Yeah, Enzo seems to be in a very comfortable state of mind right now, which bodes well for the race, I think. But then again, it's very easy when you're on a roll just to get too comfortable, and it takes a little bit of a mistake to bring you out of your rhythm, and bang, you're in the wall. In the race, that can be fatal. But hopefully that doesn't happen to Enzo. I think he's driving brilliantly at the moment in this qualifying session with 2 minutes left to go. So let's see if Holtzman can challenge though. Maybe if he can get, if not bridge that 2 tenths gap, at least make it smaller.
Well, this lap certainly isn't going to do it as he goes way wide into the final corner. However, it wouldn't have done it anyway.
A day late and $1 short
because it
on
was,
that one.
yeah. He was doing a cool down lap. That was a 1.6. Oh Jesus! Wow.
Whoa, that's was really up in the air there. The front
That
wheels just
that
didn't
was a
really want to
phenomenal
come down.
crash.
That's the thing when
Wow.
that's the thing when you play with these curbs. It's sort of very easy for them to bite you like that, and you sort of
Yeah.
the more
Wow.
risk you take, that's the sort of thing that can happen. But yeah, I can understand why Holtzman went for that, and hopefully Patrick has enough time to set another lap. You see, that's the thing we find when you risk towards the end. You run out of time to sort of set the lap because there's only a minute left.
I'm
And
pretty sure I remember last weekend in Marrakesh, Dario Franchitti said, if you go 99%, that's not good enough. If you go 101%, you're in the wall. Which is
yeah,
so
it's a
yeah.
hard balance to
I
get, isn't it?
I think that was 101% there from
I think that was a
Holzman.
couple of hundred over, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the order still Benito, Holtzman, Kiss, Cecilia, and Hawkins top five. So we're watching Ricky Wilson desperately trying to break in, still 4 temps down with time running out here.
Yeah, this
And
is the last lap that we are going to see in this session. As you can see at the top of your timing screens, there is only 20 seconds left.
yeah, can the American make an impact on the top five here, put himself in a good position to make the final? Because anything can happen in the race, of course. But, yeah, but it's always good to have that little boost up from the qualifying session. You don't want to give yourself too much work to do, especially on a street circuit. You have to time the passes so carefully. Ricky Wilson slightly down on this lap. Patrick Holtzman has ran out of time. Oh, bit of bit of oversteer there from Ricky Wilson going into the last couple of corners. Well, not the last couple of corners, the penultimate section of corners, turn 9, of course. Here we go into turn 11. I think the hairpin. And he is a 10th down. As we see, everyone's starting to finish their lap. I don't think anyone's on a better one, so it looks like Enzo Benito is going to take pole here for this semi-final. And
yep, and Enzo is the only one yet to complete a lap or not in the pit. So yeah,
I don't think he's on a faster one anyway. So yeah, there we go.
That is the grid for the
everyone who's
that is the grid on your left-hand side of the screen.
Let's just go through the grid very quickly. Enzo Benito on pole, Patrick Holtzman second, Daniel Kiss third, Jesus Cecilia fourth, Douglas Hawkins fifth, Ricky Wilson sixth, Walter Wedgeworth seventh, Lucas Molman eighth, Mark Behrens ninth, Lorenzo Lucidi 10th, Diego Jimenez 11th, and Jonathan Main 12th. So all in all, only about just under 5 seconds spread between them all, which is pretty competitive, I think. And even then, Jonathan Main is still getting to grips with things. I think he's done pretty well. I didn't see him in the wall too many times like the others, so maybe he'll be a bit more consistent in the race, be able to gain positions, because while all around you lose their head, you must keep yours. Yeah. I was just going to say something about the earlier semi-final, because we were talking about John Eric Verne doing that crash there. Another Verne moment seems to have been replicated, or even more recent one. We all remember, those who've seen it, remember in Marrakesh when John Eric Verne was running. We'll just do the championship standings just after I tell the very quick story. But I remember John Eric Verne sped in the pit lane by accident because he pressed the limiter button and nothing happened. And that same thing seemed to happen to Alexei Usi while he was leading the semi-final earlier on.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so I really hope that we don't see that repeated again. Anyway, so the championships. It seems to be had a little bit of a technical issue there. I'm not sure if we're still live. I think we are, but I think we need to go through the championship standings in full. So I will just take us through the top 20 at the moment as they stand before drop results, of course. So Gregor Hutu is leading on 95 points. Ollie Picala is second on 90 points. Graham Carroll is third on 86 points. Graham Carroll already qualified. Remember having won his semi-final. Patrick Holtzman, that's the guy we're seeing today in this group. He's on 74 points, equal with David Greco, who's in the last group. Bono Grease, who's also already qualified, finished second to Graham Carroll earlier today. He has 72 points. He's in 6th. Alexia Loma is 7th on 68 points, equal with Enzo Benito, the man who starts on pole in this semi-final. Nikodem Wisniewski is 9th with 68 points as well. So that's 3 guys on 68 in the bottom half of that top 10. So that just shows how narrow it is right now, even before we drop the scores. Jacko Brzezinski, he is 10th on 63 points. Wyatt Gooden is 11th on 60 points. Peter Briljak, guy finished second in Long Beach. He didn't do so well in Paris. He's on 59 points. He's down in 12th. Needs to get back into that top 10. Christian Kwiatniewski is 13th on 51 points. Dimitrios Parisas is 14th on 41 points. Louis Delmar 15th on 39 points. Alexei Usi, the guy who I was talking about earlier, he did qualify for the final, but only in 5th. He's 16th on 38 points, having missed Long Beach. Needs to get a good score here if he can. 17th, Miguel Ballesta on 38 points as well. 18th, Daniel Kiss on 35 points. 19th, Jesus Cecilia, who we're seeing here in this semi-final, on 31. And finally, in 20th, Mohamed Patel is equal to Cecilia on 31 points. Also in 21st, there's a Mark Gassner who also qualified in the first semi-final. So what we're looking at now is a warm-up session, which just takes place just before the start of the race. It usually lasts about 9 or 10 minutes, just to sort of make sure that everything's working before the race. It's good for the stewards, good for the drivers, I think, and good for the commentators to catch their breath a little bit. Okay, we just need to have a little bit of a break here, I think. So I think we'll catch you soon. Just 2 minutes, guys.